So what does the Almighty say? He says, look, your life, there are two major things you need to remember. Live your life and prepare for the afterlife. That's what it is. While living your life, every move should be preparation for the afterlife. There is a payment. In the same way, I cannot bring Zimbabwe dollars and try to purchase something in Malaysia, and you cannot just bring ringgits and try to purchase something in Zimbabwe or in other countries that don't accept your currency. The same applies. The currency of the hereafter are deeds. Your deeds. The currency is deeds. When I've done good, when I've reached out to people, when I've fed the poor, when I was polite, when I reached out to my colleagues, when I helped people who met me, who interacted with me, the Almighty sends you situations and conditions all the time in order to give you opportunities to earn the currency of the hereafter. This is why when sickness comes to us, it's an opportunity. Some people look at it as a punishment. No, it's not a punishment. What did you do to deserve punishment? It is a punishment if it depresses you and if it makes you so discontent with yourself, and then it might be a punishment. But if you continue, you persevere, you sought medication, you thank the Almighty, you keep on going, you pray, it brought you closer to the Almighty, that was a point of mercy. That was an opportunity for you to get closeness to the Almighty. I want to ask you a question, and I want you to answer me by show of hands. How many of you have never gotten sick in your entire lives? Not a single hand, not even a finger. Imagine. Why? It shows you it's the plan of the Almighty. You have to. You have to get sick. Why? Because the Almighty is giving you an opportunity. You need to seek medication, no matter how religious you are. You cannot say, I believe in the Almighty. He gave me the sickness. That's it. He will cure me. He told you, I will cure you on condition that the capacity I've given you, you utilize it to achieve the cure. This is where people go wrong. I'm sure you might have heard of of very spiritually elevated people who say, when sustenance is written for you, it will come to you no matter where you are. Okay, that statement has in it some truth, but it needs explanation. If you work as hard as you can for it, then, and only then. Because the hadith that mentions it speaks about a bird. It's a hadith that says, the Prophet ﷺ says, لَوْ أَنَّكُمْ تَتَوَكَّلُونَ عَلَى اللَّهِ حَقَّ تَوَكُّلِهِ لَرَزَقَكُمْ كَمَا يَرْزُقُ الطَّيْرِ. So people stop there. If you were to trust in the Almighty in the correct way, He would feed you, He would sustain you, He would provide for you in the same way that He provides for the bird. But that's not where it stops. People stop there and they say, wow, that means just sit in your nest and everything will come. The worms will suddenly develop wings and fly into your nest. That's not true. It's a foolish bird. No bird thinks that the worm is going to fly into the nest. The hadith carries on, and this is why it's dangerous to read half a verse, to read half a hadith, not to understand the context of a verse. It's dangerous because your understanding will be wrong, totally wrong. So if someone just read this part of the hadith, what does it sound like? It sounds like the Almighty is encouraging you to be lazy. I heard one man, and he was a knowledgeable person, but he made a mistake in his lecture, and he said that if the sustenance is written for you, it will rip through the ceiling. So one mad guy can say that, you know what, I'm going to lay in bed, open my mouth and hope that my breakfast falls through the ceiling. And I'm going to say, oh Allah, I trust you. Oh Allah, I trust you. I really trust. You are the provider. Well, Allah says, you are silly, so you're not going to get it. You'll die of hunger. That's what was written. Perhaps. The hadith continues to say, تَغْدُو خِمَاسًا وَتَرُوحُ بِطَانًا. The bird leaves the nest early in the morning with an empty belly, and returns in the evening with a full belly. It changed the whole meaning of the hadith, isn't it? It means you work hard from morning to evening, you rest in the evening, right? The night is for resting. You work hard from morning to evening, and we will fill your belly for you, no problem. We will ensure that you get something. Subhanallah, Allah provides for everyone. If Allah can provide for the ants, you and I are bigger than the ants. We will be provided for. You have to have that conviction. Allah will provide. But He gave you a capacity. You know, it's like people who were stuck in an island. And the one says, we're waiting. The other one says, anytime any help comes, I'm going to make use of it. And the other one says, I am a true believer. The Almighty will take me out of this situation. So a little while later, a helicopter comes. And the helicopter is coming down. The first guy says, hey, that's the helicopter, it's here. He starts waving. As he's waving his, whatever he had in terms of clothing and everything else that he could wave, the helicopter came and stopped, slowed down. The first guy jumps in because he knew. The second guy said, well, there you are, help has come, we're jumping in. And the third guy says, no, you guys carry on, I'm waiting for the Almighty. Allah will help me. But Allah is the one who sent that helicopter to you. This is where people fail. And this is why we say, being close to Allah and religiousness, there is a fine line between obeying the instruction of Allah and understanding it, and misunderstanding it due to thinking that you're on a higher level. You see?